I'm in Austin, Texas, and I'm about to meet a good friend, Brady Clark of Brisket Country. We're here at Stiles Switch, and the guy behind the camera, Jay, says this is some of the best barbecue in town. So I'm gonna go back to the pits, meet the pitmasters, and see why this is so good. Come on now, come on. Hey, brother.
Hey,
How are you?
good. Hope you're hungry. Came to the right place.
It smells good. I want to go back there and say hello to the pitmasters, and then we can sit down and get a table and get some food.
Sounds great. Let's do it.
All right.
Old Austin where the sign still flickers, still makes things with its hands, talking shit and taking pictures. We ain't going nowhere, man. The condo's closing, but we ain't moving. Old Austin's where the sign still flickers. It's where the art kids come to play, where the skin is still on the leather's still on the man. Old Austin's where the sign still flickers.
So Brady's getting us a table, and I just had to come back and walk through the kitchen, see the pit, see where all the magic happens, meet the pitmasters. Brady will never tell you, but he's Brisket Country, and he's just so talented with his graphic design and his brand work. He also works on the interiors too, so he's a really cool cat, and you could probably tell that by just looking at him. It's amazing how many pits there are here. I think there's 5 1,000 gallons, there's a 500. They have someone in here all night long, all day long. I think these pits, yeah. So Sonny Moberg makes these smokers. Let's go find Shane, see if Lance is here, and meet some of the pit crew, and then we'll go find where Brady's at and grab a seat.
Old Austin's where the sun still flickers, where the artists come to play, where the skin is still on the leather's still on the man.
Yeah, Tuffy, I'm Lance Kirkpatrick. I'm the head pitmaster here at Stiles Switch BBQ, and Shane and I founded the restaurant together in 2011. We're in our 15th year here at Stiles Switch. We've seen a lot of changes over the years. One of those changes is the food keeps getting better, so that's a good thing. We just started hiring more cooks and adding more smokers as we got busier, and we started with 1 smoker and 1 cook in 2011, and now in 2026 we've got, well, here at this store we've got 5,000 gallon Moberg smokers, and we've got about 8 or 9 pitmasters at any given time here at this store. Of course, we've grown a little bit more, and we've got a couple more locations. We've got 3 around town. So we employ about 130 to 140 people, about 14 pitmasters. We've got about 10 of these Moberg pits spread around town at different shops. So we've kind of seen a revitalization of barbecue in Austin, Texas in the time that we've been here. We're a traditional Texas barbecue menu. We try to keep it as pretty close to the guidelines that you want to stay on for Texas barbecue, but we also have some great daily specials that we do. You know, be a little more creative with the cooks, and you're not just doing the same 5 menu items every day. We've seen a lot of improvement in quality around here. The reason for that is the creative, talented people that we've brought on board. We got some of the knowledge from some of these guys that had learned it all over the state, and for example, well, all over the world. Hell, we've got a guy here from Australia. We got a guy from Italy. We've just built a team here of really creative people that are passionate about making good barbecue. And it comes through in the food, man. It's fun to work here, and we just keep getting better. So, in the early days, I was teaching some guys how to make barbecue the way Bobby Miller taught me how to make barbecue. But then when we started out, hiring some of the better cooks, it got a little bit more fun around here, But I tell the guys all the time, we're gonna have fun doing this, but don't ever misunderstand that we're very serious about what we're doing.
My name is Shane Stiles, owner-operator of Stiles Switch BBQ. Louis Miller, Taylor Cafe, Jackson Barbecue in Thrall, Texas, and Southside Meat Market in Elgin would be my earliest memories of barbecue. For as long as I can remember, that was me and my dad's favorite pastime. Growing up in Taylor, Louis Miller was just an amazing barbecue joint to grow up with, an old basketball gymnasium that your first memories were walking into this, the Cathedral of Smoke, as they call it now. But as a young kid, it just seemed like Disney World, That sharing that passion with my dad, that was our, whether we were just eating barbecue every now and then, cooking barbecue. We were more professional eaters than we were cookers. Get a little older in life, go to college, and you do a little bit of traveling outside of Central Texas. Everybody says, let's go eat barbecue, and you're like, awesome, let's go. And then you're like, man, this is not what I grew up on. So got out of college, came back to Austin, and was still kind of driving to Taylor and Lockhart and Elgin for barbecue. Just always put in the back of my dad's ear, like, man, Austin could really use, Louis Miller or Lance, for example. I literally picked up the phone the next day and looked him up in the yellow pages and found his information and gave him a ring. And he actually answered the phone, and we spoke, and tried to tell him who I was. He didn't really know who I was. And I said, man, I'm just a big customer. He goes, well, what do you look like? I said, me and my dad are both tall, white. I don't know what else to tell you, man. He goes, man, what'd you order? And I said, I ordered 2 slices of lean and 2 links. And my dad ordered a half a pound of fatty every time. He goes, I know exactly who you are. And so from there, just kind of pitched to him my idea. And then from there, it's just kind of been a hold your pants and try to hang on, So started with 1 barbecue pit, 1 pitmaster, quickly hired another pitmaster. Not too long after that, got another pit, and took this one location from about the 8 of us that started it, and worked every day, and kind of come a long way. But man, still just kind of like to keep our head down, and we really take a lot of pride in being like the locals' place to go. We're venturing out, we're doing new things. We're still, I guess, what they call traditional or old school barbecue. Being open at dinner, that's been a challenge for us. Took years to figure out how to really pull that off. It sounded great going into this, but we had no idea what the hell we were doing and how to do it. But we definitely got it down now, and I think our customers appreciate that. I think our customers really appreciate the ease of coming here and waiting 15, 20 minutes tops to get barbecue. And of course, that's when we're really busy. We do our best to keep our menu full through the night. We have gotten to where if we sell out a brisket at 7:30, we're not mad about that. The cost of brisket these days, that's the goal. But man, other than that, I don't think our story is super special in any regard. I think it's the same story as so many people that have a love for barbecue and were crazy enough to kind of put their money where their mouth is and start a business around it. So we're definitely happy and super proud to be one of the kind of forefathers of craft barbecue here in Austin. We didn't invent barbecue, but we definitely, I think we helped put Austin on the map.
Being in the line is about great conversation. Of course, this line is pretty good right now because we're in air conditioning, but it's about the talks. And I was just, Shane was just saying he loves to hear people talking about, oh, you got to order this, or you should get this, or what are we gonna get? But it's a real social activity, just waiting in line to get the food. Speaking of which, we're next. Gentlemen.
Knowing I can never change your mind. Oh, the easy part of all of this is letting you go. The hard part is knowing that I want you, and I can't say why. No, I can't say why. Oh, can't say why.
Great, so starting out right here in the center of the tray, we've got our big beef short rib. A real popular dish here at Stiles Switch BBQ. We sell a lot of beef ribs. We sell those every day here at Stiles Switch BBQ. The next is our McLaren Farms Prime Brisket. We're really proud of this brisket. We've got a fantastic team of guys that make this brisket every day. We switched over to the McLaren Farms Brisket about 1.5 years ago. Couldn't be happier. Fantastic product. The pork ribs that we do here are a St. Louis cut pork rib, and we use a sweet Serrano glaze on it that we make in-house. We smoke the Serrano peppers for a couple hours, and then we blend that in with some sugars and different spices with garlic and cayenne. Over here we got the smoked turkey breast, very good smoked turkey breast. It's basic seasonings, got salt and pepper base. It's got to run through the chili powders in there, you know, the ancho, the arbol, the cayenne on there, and our house-made seasoned salt Stiles Switch rub in there. We've got all 3 types of the sausage represented. We always do 3 types. We are always going to have the OG and the jalapeno cheddar, but today you've also got one of the beef chimichurri, which is the special of the month this month. I left out over here, we got smoked pork belly cubes, and we've put our red chimichurri sauce on the pork belly right here. And then today's special right here is the brisket Philly with our house-cut fries.
Lance, thank you so much. This is unbelievable. I can see why the line's out the door.
Yeah, if I was going to start anywhere, I'd start with that brisket.
Okay.
We're really proud of the brisket right now. I am, for sure. The guys out back are just doing a great job.
We'll hit the brisket first. I'm not sure, Brady, but this might be the first time that we've eaten at a barbecue joint in Texas.
Yes, sir, I think it is. You know, usually we are across, you know, you're in Richmond, I'm in Georgetown, Texas, and I'm behind a computer.
Just for anybody that may or may not know, Brady Clark is brisket country, and he's doing so many of the barbecue joints, not only in Texas, but you know, New York, and South Carolina, California.
Barbecue guys, they talk like schoolgirls, and so if you do a good job, everybody's gonna tout you. And one of my biggest cheerleaders in the last, you know, maybe 15 years was John Brotherton, who passed away a few years ago. He was my biggest cheerleader and would tell everyone, you should use Brady. He does great work and work hard to get lucky. And yeah, just blessed to get to experience all of this kind of thing and help Tuffy. Tuffy is one of my top 5 favorite humans of all time. No joke. There is not a more talented, humble, genuine, loving dude than this guy right here. And I am blessed.
All right, so he's got me embarrassed now. So,
you know, Lance mentioned, you know, starting with the brisket. Obviously, I think that is, you know, that's the one first pull. Let's eat.
you need a plate or no?
Not for the first bite, dude.
All right. Look at that fool.
Cheers.
Cheers.
The leather's still on the man. Old Austin's where the sign still flickers.
Oh my gosh, dude.
That brisket.
It's not your first time eating barbecue up here in set for a while, though.
This is bigger than 1.6.
The leather's still on the man. Old Austin's where the sign still flickers. Where the artists come to play. Where the skin is still on the leather. The leather's still on the man. Old Austin. All those cowboys at the shop. It's where I get my tattoos. And that barbecue don't stop.
Shane, come on over. We're gonna need some help on this food.
Oh man.
We ain't moving. Old Austin's where the sign still flickers. It's where
Oh man. That is good.
Shane was just saying that when they first opened, all their focus was on their meats, and they just had your classic normal sides that you would expect in a barbecue restaurant, and people would come in there and say something about the sides, and he'd be like, I don't care, it's all about the meat. And it's still about the meat. You can obviously tell by looking at these trays, but they've spent a lot of time and they, pivoted on their sides. And look at this Brussels sprout. Obviously you can't eat it, but the texture, the doneness, just like the brisket texture was perfect, but the doneness on this Brussels sprout is great. But it's got some acid in there, it's got some vinegar in there. Awesome. All right, so there's 3 sausages. One's the OG, right?
OG's in the middle.
Old Austin's where the sign still
Jimmy.
flickers. It's where the arcades
Getting a tour of the pits, hearing the story of Stiles Switch, Brady coming down to meet for lunch. We don't get to see each other often enough. We get to talk, but we don't get to see each other. Shane telling me the story of how they got here with Lance from the very beginning. But we got a lot of food here, and it's towards you on Jay, the cameraman. So we're just gonna cut the camera and dig in and eat. All right, let's come on.
Austin's where the sign still flickers, where the artists come to play, where the skin is still on the leather's still on the man. Old Austin, all those cowboys at the shop, it's where I get my tattoos. And that barbecue don't stop. Taking
Shane
shots
Stiles, Stiles Switch
and
BBQ.
playing blues. The condo's closed.